not attempt to adjust your dial. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. This is App Stupid, the fastest growing sports and entertainment show on these YouTube streets. You're welcome. Holla at us. Holla at your boy Big Vern, getting it in on a beautiful frigid Monday here in the Midwest. We got storms rolling in. We got a high today of 45. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It goes a long way, helps the channel. We appreciate it. So in our last segment, we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Super Bowl beatdown. That was hard to watch, and nobody saw that coming. They did to Kansas City whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. What does this leave for the defending champions? Because I'm not going to lie to you, it looked like the end of a dynasty. So from the Super Bowl, we're going to pivot and go to the AFC East. And Aaron Rodgers has just been waived by the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers has just been waived by the New York Jets. Now they're moving on from Aaron Rodgers, and this wasn't necessarily about his play. That's what they tried to say, but it was all about his play. And it was more about his contract and the significant dead money that would be remaining whenever eventually they parted ways. So the new general manager, Mr. Darren Mobley, and the new head coach, Mr. Aaron Glenn, they wanted to go ahead and take the hit now and make a fresh start. Okay, you got no problem out of me with any of this. Number one, anytime a new head coach comes in, he's going to go ahead and get rid of the old guard. So pretty much there was not going to be anything or a leg to stand on. Everybody can be waived. People can get fired. But how they pulled this firing, this was personal. Because Aaron Rodgers got waived 2 hours before the Super Bowl. And I know why they did it, because they wanted to go ahead and duck the press in a firestorm that was going to be a preemptive debate. But if you're going to go ahead and cut a guy, you might as well cut him when everybody else is going to be watching the shiny object over here. It's a red herring. Okay, we're going to do this right now, and then nobody's going to talk about it. This despite Aaron Rodgers catching a flight back to talk with the brass about him possibly staying on and what was going to be his future role with the organization. And now there is no future role with the organization at all. Give me a quick 20 from a rap album we're promoting this month. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. Bam, 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 bam. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. We promoting another rap album this month. Mac Miller, Balloonerism, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is $5 Pony Rides, Friendly Hallucinations. Friendly Hallucinations is dope. That's a really good song. Excisors, and then Mannequins. Mac Miller, Balloonerism, in stores now. Oh, I like Mac Miller, man. Rest in peace to that brother. Peace to his family. Now, when we were left off on the other side of the content, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers being released 2 hours before the Super Bowl. The news had broke around that time. I was just like, wow, why would they do that on football's biggest stage? It's because it's got hidden away. However, Rodgers, 41, has played 2 seasons in New York that were far more ideal. In April of 2023, he came to the Jets in a stunning trade with the Green Bay Packers, where he spent 18 seasons sparking hope in the Jets fan base. However, Rodgers tore his Achilles on the 4th play of New York's opener and fell for season-ending injuries that mostly doomed the New York franchise. Now, the way that he left Green Bay, it wasn't that it was some remarkable trade or anything like that. Aaron Rodgers, he lied to the Green Bay Packers, and he tried to screw over Jordan Love. Because when he was asked, was he going to come back, his agent said he was going to be on a blackout. He wasn't on a blackout. He was looking up and he was tracking down his old offensive coordinator at Green Bay that went to the Jets, and he was calling plays because under that offensive coordinator, Aaron Rodgers was able to get back-to-back MVPs for the league. And so he wanted to go be with that team, and out of nowhere, he comes back and he says, I want to play for the Jets, so you all need to figure out a trade. Well, that's fine, but you didn't need to take Eddie Lazard. That would have been one of Jordan Love's weapons. And so you took this guy before Jordan Love became a known commodity. He only had 3 passes, so Green Bay didn't know what they had. And he went on to do what Jordan Love does. But at the same time, when you turn around and you look at it and you just like, you kind of stuck them up in a high spot. And so when he tore his Achilles, it was kind of like karma. Karma was befitting because that was an old man injury. And if you need to revisit that, you can look on our page. We talk about everything here. However, when you're older and you have a lower leg injury, it doesn't make you faster. It makes you slower. So having those attributes that Aaron Rodgers was used to, scrambling around, creating plays with his legs, that was not an option any longer. It was not an option any longer. And for all of the coaches who followed him, the players who followed him, it was just like they wasted their time. The Jets went 7-10 as Rodgers worked towards the return late in the season, but the team fell out of playoff contention and remained on the sidelines looking in. Now in 2024, the Jets' woes wasn't bad. It just went from bad to worse. The franchise fired the head coach, Mr. Robert Saleh, after a 2-3 start. Again, he got fired because him and Brett Favre. Him and Aaron Rodgers didn't get along. That's the only reason that Robert Saleh was fired. Because if you got 2 wins and 3 losses, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, considering that your quote-unquote knight in shining armor, he's coming back from a lower leg injury, you at least still had a competitive record. But because you had to do whatever Aaron Rodgers had said, he conspired to get Robert Saleh fired, and that's what happened. He was cool with it. He was also cool with getting his old offensive coordinator that had got him those back-to-back MVPs. He got his play calling duty snatched. This is who Aaron Rodgers has always been. So my heart's not going to bleed for a guy who's a shit and comes into a organization to burn it down, and like, you have to capitulate to me, and I haven't won jack diddly squat since 2009, but a bunch of games and stuffed a bunch of stats. And now he's still out here trying to salvage his career. They prompted the defensive coordinator, Jeff Urich, to be the head coach because pretty much they were scrambling. But he couldn't go ahead and put a spark under the Jets. And the Jets, they finished 5-12 on the year. So you fired Robert Saleh. You were 2-3. You only won 3 more games that year, despite making a trade for Devontae Adams that you didn't really need. And it cost you some draft picks and some draft capital. So even though you're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers now, Aaron Rodgers is still affecting the New York Jets because you still have to go ahead and pay him in the dead cap money, and you just cost him a draft pick in 2025 and 2026. I don't know who made that deal, but they need to be fired also. Now, Rodgers, and this is why I said it was personal, because it was heated. It became heated in the front office, and when you had the new hire of Glenn and the general manager, Mogi, Rodgers had publicly and privately expressed his discontent that he had with Johnson and how he handled himself through 2024 season. Now, Johnson is the guy who runs the team, the president. And again, I don't know who Aaron Rodgers thought he was or who the hell he thinks he is, but you cannot come in here and start dictating culture, and you're not the future of the franchise. You're not the future of the franchise. If anything, you were a footnote in the franchise. And so even though Glenn was able to go ahead and make the decision to get rid of Rodgers and make a fresh start, bring in his own guys, the choice to cut Aaron Rodgers 2 hours from the Super Bowl came down from Johnson. You're going to go to the media. You're going to run your mouth. You want to be big and bad. You want to talk that big boy shit. I'm going to show you what this big boy shit looks like. Not only are you gone, because they could have gave him the message. They had him fly in to tell him that he was not going to be part of the franchise. And then they went public with it 2 hours before the Super Bowl. So all the praise and constraint the media wants to give Johnson for not making this personal with Aaron Rodgers, he damn sure made this personal. He made this public. He made this public. And again, I don't feel sorry for anybody who's involved in this story because there was so much dirt and filthy backstab and bullshit Aaron Rodgers tried to do to that franchise. But again, Johnson, he's going to show you, don't talk that big boy shit to me. We will do what we have to do. And then they tried to put it on Mr. Glenn and say that Aaron Glenn had to make the call and he had to make the decision. They were already going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. He just wanted to go ahead and make it more of a humiliation ritual, releasing a guy 2 hours before the Super Bowl and then briefing every outlet to cover that. So if you are a Jets fan, are you happy you got rid of Aaron Rodgers? Are you happy with what it cost you? This is Big Vern. We'll be back.